I saw the other day with Alex Eala, you know, yeah, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. You know, there's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. You know, she's been the biggest ever, you know, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest. So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, you know, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule them on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. So and obviously the first couple rounds, the schedule is so packed. The big courts with big names, it's difficult. It's not easy to manage that. But again, it's a good problem to have, to be honest. You know.
This was definitely one of the bigger Filipino turnouts. Also New York was huge. It was tough because it also depends what court you're on, you know, that you feel the noise and things. I would say the top two so far have been Melbourne and New York.
Yeah, picture this. Aryna Sabalenka just watched a 20-year-old qualifier from the Philippines completely hijack the narrative at the Australian Open. While the defending champ is putting on a clinic on center court, Alex Eala is causing absolute gridlock with 5,000 fans on the side courts. The stats don't lie, folks. We are talking viewership numbers, merchandise flying off the shelves, and social media engagement for Eala that is blowing the world #1 out of the water. Is Alex Eala's fame legitimate superstar material, or is this just a flash in the pan fueled by national pride? Sound off in the comments with your take. What is unfolding in Melbourne is frankly unheard of in the pro circuit. A 20-year-old ranked way outside the top 100 is generating more heat, packing in bigger crowds and dominating the headlines more than Sabalenka, the woman who literally owns the trophy. And the #1 ranking. This isn't hot air or PR spin. We are looking at cold, hard facts, ticket scans.
I mean, she played an incredible match, and I tried my very best. I was fighting till the very last point. I had my opportunities. Feels like I missed a couple, but I mean, it's tennis, you know. Today you loser, tomorrow you winner. So hopefully I'll be more of a winner this season than a loser. So hoping right now and praying.
Thanks. Imagine this scene for a second. Sabalenka is playing lights out tennis. Championship level stuff, prime time slot, cameras everywhere. She is absolutely dismantling her opponent with that trademark power, serving bombs and crushing forehands exactly like a title holder should. But she is doing it in a stadium that looks like a ghost town where you can basically count the empty seats by hand. Meanwhile, Eala gets buried on the outer courts, the spots usually meant for rookies, and she pulls a crowd so massive that security had to call for reinforcements because people were literally scaling fences and trash cans just to see a single point. The numbers are insane. Officials booked Eala on court 6, which holds maybe 1,500 people max, and over 5,000 fans swarmed the place. It was physically impossible to fit them all. The venue completely buckled under the pressure. Security logs say they were 300% over safe capacity. Fans were hanging off the chain link fences, screaming their heads off like it was the World Cup final, not a polite tennis match. And here is the kick in the teeth for, while she was live on national TV on the main stage, Eala was just running drills on court 10, not a match, just hitting practice balls. Yet, streaming data from Southeast Asia and the Pacific showed 40% more eyeballs on Eala's warm-up than on Sabalenka's actual match. Let that sit for a minute. Practice swings got better ratings than the champ playing for keeps. That stat has the sponsors in suits in the boardroom sweating bullets because it exposes a massive reality check on what actually drives the sport. It isn't always about who has the shiny trophy or the best ranking. It is about who connects on a gut level with massive audiences that usually don't give a damn about tennis. The contrast in how these two are treated is brutal. Sabalenka walks into the media room and gets grilled about Eala's fan army instead of her own performance. She is trying to break down her tactical approach, and the reporters are basically tuning her out, just waiting to ask about the Filipino phenomenon causing a riot 50 yards away. That has got to mess with your head. Picture this. You are sitting at the absolute top of the food chain. You are the undisputed #1 defending the belt. You are bawling out playing the sickest tennis of your life, but nobody seems to care. It is like you are just an extra in someone else's blockbuster movie. The queen is watching her throne get snatched right in front of her face, and there is zero she can do about it. Why? Because this ain't about forehands and backhands anymore. We are talking straight up cultural impact. The whole vibe at Melbourne Park has flipped upside down. Grand Slams usually look like the United Nations with flags from everywhere, right? Not this time. This looks like a massive ocean of red, blue, and yellow. That Filipino flag is everywhere you look. The noise is deafening. You can't even hear the calls on the courts next door because the chanting is just that loud. It doesn't feel like a regular tour match. It feels like the Davis Cup, pure national pride on the line, way bigger than just two people hitting a ball. Now, look at Sabalenka. She is tennis perfection, a total machine, physically gifted, and she plays like a cold-blooded killer. But from the stands, she feels distant, a little icy, like you can't really touch that greatness. She is so good, it is almost boring. You walk in knowing she is probably going to crush it, so where is the drama? There is no edge to it. Then you got Eala, total opposite end of the spectrum. She is the classic underdog, scrapping against the odds with a frame that isn't built like a powerhouse. She is giving up size to almost everyone she plays. So how does she survive? Pure IQ and that gritty defense she learned over at Rafa's academy. Every single point looks like a fist fight for survival. And every time she wins, it feels like she just shocked the world. The hype is baked right in because nobody expects her to pull it off. But it is deeper than the game. Eala stands for something Sabalenka just can't touch. For millions of folks across Southeast Asia, and especially back in the Philippines, she is the proof that they belong in the spotlight. She ain't just an athlete, she is the face of a whole culture. Showing you can come from a place without the fancy resources or the big money and still go toe-to-toe with the giants. Sabalenka is out there chasing trophies and stats. Eala, she is playing for respect and the pride of a nation. That emotional weight is exactly why the fans have totally flipped the script. Sabalenka rips an ace, and you get some polite golf claps. Eala hits a winner, and grown folks are crying in the stands. It is just a different level of love. The buzz around Eala is wild. It started small, just a hashtag on the timeline so fans could hype her up. But now, it is a movement. It is a loud and clear message that Philippine tennis is here and it ain't going anywhere. Before she showed up, you would see players from the region pop up at a major here or there and then poof, gone. But this feels different. It feels like the beginning of a legacy, not just a flash in the pan that the bigwigs in Europe and the States can ignore. We are looking at a total shift in who watches the game. If Eala sparks the kind of explosion that Tiger Woods did for golf or Serena Williams did for black athletes, the whole business model of tennis gets rewritten. Brand new markets open up, new money floods in, the center of gravity starts sliding straight toward Asia. You can already see the dollar signs. Word on the street is the big dogs, Nike, Adidas, Wilson, are in a bidding war to sign her. They know the score. Signing her isn't about locking down one player, it is about unlocking. A massive chunk of the world that never gave a damn about tennis before. The cash potential from tapping into the Filipino fan base and the rest of Southeast Asia is just astronomical. Meanwhile, Sabalenka is sitting there with her deals already inked. She is paid, sure, but she is watching brands throw bigger bags at a girl ranked way below her. Why? Because that girl has the one thing you can't buy, influence that transcends the court. And don't get it twisted, Eala has got game. Her tactical evolution proves this isn't just hype fueled by flag waving. She has got the skills to back up the noise. Her serve used to be a weak spot back in the day, but now It is a legit weapon. She uses that lefty slice to pull girls way off the court and open up crazy angles, just like Rafa used to do to control the flow. But the real game changer is inside her head. Check her last match against that top seed American. Eala got crushed in the first set. The old Eala, she would have folded and packed her bags right there, but not this version. She took a breath, rode the crowd's energy like a wave, and fought back to win in 3 sets. That grit is the difference between players who have potential and players who actually run the show. Sabalenka, she gets rattled when the stands turn against her. She has even admitted that bad vibes mess with her head. Eala, on the other hand, she eats that chaos for breakfast. The louder it gets, the harder she plays. That is an X factor you can't teach in a clinic. It is pure heart, and it gives her an edge that no ranking sheet can ever measure. And the money side, get this, Melbourne just raked in an extra $15 million in tourism cash over a 2-week stretch. People are flying in from everywhere, Singapore, Jakarta, Hong Kong. They're crossing the whole of Southeast Asia just to see Eala do her thing. They ain't there for the Australian Open, folks. They are there for times her asterisk. That's not a sports headline. That is a full-blown cultural revolution. Back in Manila, it's even crazier. The moment she steps on the court, the legendary traffic in the capital just disappears. Nobody's working. Productivity hits 0. Schools are literally shutting down just so kids can catch the match. We haven't seen this kind of obsession since Manny Pacquiao was in his prime. That is the level we are talking about. But here's the kicker. Tennis isn't even a thing in the Philippines. It's usually all boxing and basketball. So for Eala to spark this kind of madness in a sport nobody watches, that proves she's way more than an athlete. She's an icon. Now, imagine being Sabalenka. You're sitting there wondering how on earth you became invisible at a tournament you are absolutely crushing. She is playing better tennis, better stats, higher ranking, the works. But guess what? None of it matters. Popularity isn't about the scoreboard. It's about who grabs you by the heartstrings. There was this moment at the presser that was just brutal. Reporters ignored Sabalenka's game and kept asking about Eala's crowd instead. She put on a brave face, gave the PR answer, but you could feel the annoyance radiating off her. She wants to talk shop about chasing another title, and nobody cares. Everyone's obsessed with the Filipino qualifier, tearing it up on the side courts. That messes with your head. It forces you to swallow a hard pill, being number one. Doesn't make you the main character. Star power and skill, 2 completely different animals. Right now, Eala's got the juice and Sabalenka doesn't. We've seen this movie before in tennis history. When Serena burst onto the scene, she brought in a whole new crowd. When Sharapova blew up, she unlocked Russia and got the youth hooked. When Lena started winning slams for China, the whole tennis business pivoted to Asia. Eala is triggering that exact same shift. But this time, it's for Southeast Asia and every Filipino community around the globe. Anywhere you find Filipinos, Eala has an instant army ready to show up and turn the place into a party, just like they did in Melbourne. That is a home court advantage she takes everywhere she goes. The million-dollar question is this hype just a flash in the pan, or is it here to stay? The way the fans are acting, it looks like the real deal. And looking at the cash the big sponsors are dropping, they're betting big on it lasting too. Even the organizers are rewriting the playbook to handle her crowds. Everyone is prepping for this to be the new normal. Sabalenka is probably praying this blows over, thinking once Eala takes a loss or tweaks an ankle, the world resets. Don't bet on it. History shows that once a group gets hooked on a sport because of a star, they tend to stick around long after that player hangs up the racket. Serena brought fans who still watch. Tiger brought people who still love golf. The wave Eala is starting is going to outlast her career. And here's the wild part. Eala doesn't even need to win this thing to prove her point. She could lose tomorrow, and it wouldn't undo the madness we've just witnessed. She already proved she can grab the world's attention and generate more money than the defending champ. That is a seismic shift in the tennis hierarchy. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. Sabalenka might lift the hardware. She might snag another slam, sure. But Eala walks away knowing she can make the whole world stop and watch. Rankings and trophies can't measure that kind of juice. Aryna Sabalenka just got totally eclipsed by a 20-year-old nobody saw coming. Eala brought more hype, bigger crowds, and better ratings, all while ranked 100 spots lower, this year's Australian Open turned into the Alex Eala show, no matter whose name goes on the cup. It just goes to show star power beats a ranking number every single time.